Hi Chakits, I have been following you and watching your YouTube channel for years.
I have decided to finally relocate to Las Vegas and want to start a new chapter in my life. I know you're the perfect realtor to help guide me to find my next dream home. I am looking for a modern kitchen, large backyard with a pool and a golf course community.
My name is Chakits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I help buyers like this all the time, so if you're looking for a licensed professional, give us a call at 702-319-1092 or visit lvhomeexperts.com. Buying a home starts here.
And projects backed by our 20 years of experience. Whether it's a closet, pantry, garage storage, floor coatings, entertainment center, laundry room, home office, custom bookcases, and window coverings, Closets Las Vegas will give you the look and feel you want in your home. Please contact me, Pat, for your free consultation, and don't forget to ask about 0% financing for 18 months. I look forward to working with you.
Does your house look like and have you been considering remodeling your home for some time now? Well, if you love real estate like I do and appreciate the attention to detail in the craftsmanship required to build a remodel or a gorgeous home, then I got the perfect company for you. Guys, I highly recommend Design Zone Remodeling. They are a stellar company that will turn your outdated home into your own personal sanctuary. They specialize in bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, and full house remodels. Design Zone Remodeling has a reputation for excellent workmanship, competitive fees, and being able to offer a wide range of services and deliver the outstanding results to their clients. I use Design Zone Remodeling on my personal properties. Give Design Zone Remodeling a call today at 725-223-0871 or visit their website at designzoneremodeling.com to request a free consultation today. Hey, what's up everybody? Did you know that 96,000 people move to Las Vegas every single year? The question is why? Well, due to the Fed's interest rate hikes have increased the cost of living for many Americans across the country. Americans are now looking to relocate to Las Vegas because of no state income tax, low unemployment, low cost of living, and affordability for housing. We're also the entertainment capital of the world. So if you are thinking about relocating to Las Vegas, we would like to offer you a free Southern Nevada market report and a relocation guide. All you have to do is click on that link below to claim yours today.
All right, what's up everybody? Another day here in Las Vegas. Believe it or not, the temperature has dropped. This week we are sitting about 80 degrees out here in Las Vegas. The weather is awesome. So if you're buying a home, now's the time to buy a home because when you're moving, it makes it a lot easier. So today we got a very special guest and we're going to talk about just what's going on in the market. Just, shoot the shit, guys. So I would like to introduce you to Alex Vazquez. How are you doing, sir?
Good, brother. Good to see you.
You know what's so funny is earlier when he walked in, I was like, I think I recognized you. And he was like, dumbass, I was already on the show.
I didn't say it that way, bro.
I was like, I know I recognize this guy from somewhere, but I just can't pinpoint it.
It's been about a year.
I know. Wow, it's been that long?
Yeah.
But I do want to say that I do appreciate you coming back on the show. But I really want to get your perspective of what's going on with the market because there's just a lot of things, right? We have the election. I think we're less than like 50-something days. Obviously the Feds today just cut rates by half of a point. Some of these homes on the market, like I'm going to say probably about 60% of them are doing price reductions. Things are really not moving, but then pricing is like at an all-time high. I'm confused of what's going on, and I'm sure a lot of my viewers are as well. Can you kind of give us your perspective of what's happening right now in the marketplace?
It's combination of what you mentioned, the election is putting us in a little bit of a funk. I just had this conversation with an agent yesterday, and the trends say the last 10 elections, sales have come down a little bit, nearing up to it, and then of course they vamp up right after that. So, but the I guess saving grace right here is that inventory is still low, so buyers don't have a lot of selections. You called it out, you said it well. Price reductions we're seeing left and right, probably about 50-60%. I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah.
So price reductions, playing incentives. How do you buy down interest rate? So it's getting creative. The creative agents, I think, we're the ones that we're getting ahead. It's the ones that are making things happen, right? Solving problems.
I think this is a good thing for the real estate industry if you are an agent, because I feel like there's a lot of agents now are going out getting like part-time jobs, and a lot of them are pretty much getting out of the business. But I'm gonna be honest, I just felt like my income has literally dropped. However, I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to save money and invest my money in the right areas in order to thrive through this new economy that we currently have. But it's kind of like a bumpy road. That's how I feel. Do you agree with that, or?
Yes, definitely funky. So, I mean, you got the one-offs, big luxury sale, right? New home communities, multiple investments, 1031 exchanges. So it's the agent that's versed is the one that's, like you said, thriving. That's
like, I have some like fellow agents, man. They're like selling like $17 million homes, $10 million. I'm like,
man,
dude, who's buying this, right? Which is, that market is moving, and it just like kind of baffles me. But then on the lower sector, people are just kind of like holding off. Are you getting that sense of people holding off as well?
On the lower sector, yes. But luxury is on fire. I had my biggest sale of my career this year, 4.5 up on the mansion, Roma Hills.
Oh, wow.
A Blue Heron.
Roma Hills.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Roma
nice.
Hills up there, Blue Heron up at the top. And also sold that same gentleman, lot in Niskaya, ran into your boy, Joey, your team member.
Oh, nice.
In there too, showing the same, showing a different client, same properties. So luxury on fire. It's your first time buyers that it's a little wonky, right? Because at $200-300 a month difference in the interest rate can make or break that deal, right? So you got to tread carefully with those. But the luxury market has been absolutely insane since late last year.
Now, on the luxury side, where are these buyers actually coming from?
In my case, it was a Canadian cash buyer. So it's
Really?
people that are parking their cash in the United States, and especially Vegas. In this case, this guy was competing. We were competing against San Diego, Phoenix, or Vegas. When he mentioned that to me, I kind of chuckled. And he says, "Oh, why is that?" And I said, "Because there's no competition, sir. Vegas is the place to be."
Okay, so first and foremost, why is he deciding to, reposition his money? I'm just kind of curious.
In his case, it's for tax purposes.
Okay, so number one is tax purposes. And obviously, people with this kind of money, that they are just basically looking at every single state at this point. Why did he decide here in Las Vegas versus the other states?
So against our competition was San Diego and Phoenix. Those were the three cities that he identified that he wanted to tour and take a look at. I immediately said, California, you don't want to invest in there. I said, plus the property taxes are sky high.
Yeah.
And he says, no, you know what? I did some due diligence, and you're absolutely right. The other one was Phoenix. And automatically I say, hey, did you know that Phoenix is limiting the amount of permits that are being pulled for brand new homes because of water restrictions? And he says, oh, well, that's good to know because I don't want to run out of water. Well, great, because in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Valley Water Authority director said that we have water for at least the next 15, 20 years. So if that makes him feel better, then let's go.
Now, talking about the luxury side, if you buy now, let's say you buy a $10 million home, $5 million, whatever it is, do you feel that there's still room for growth on the luxury side where it will continue to go up?
I believe so, especially the tax-friendly structure that we have here in Las Vegas and the Californian exodus. We got not just California, but now you have Washington, you have Chicago, you have East Coast that are flocking to Las Vegas. Plus the big ticket companies that are coming here, the Oakland A's, right? You got more Tesla investment, the Googles, all the companies are placing their dollars in Las Vegas. The Hollywood 2.0, right? That's going to attract a lot more millionaires.
Yeah.
The Summit, the Ridges here in Henderson. I think we're in the right city for luxury.
So it almost sounds like you're saying that there's still enough time to get into this market where another 15, 20 years, this place will be eventually like California.
Correct. And from what we were told, from an economic standpoint and land standpoint, that we have about 8 to 10 years left of land development here in Las Vegas. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I believe you're absolutely right. I think one of the things that people that have money, this is what they look at, okay? There has been a lot of people right now, especially the baby boomers, okay? You have over 10,000, right, retiring every single day. So obviously you're going to be on a budget. Let's get real. Once you get to a certain age, you're no longer working, you're on a budget. So it comes to the point of your life where you're probably going to end up downsizing, right? And the next thing you're going to look at is your income, right? How much cash are you bringing in every single month? Then from there, it's what is our expense, right? People are starting to migrate because they're looking at every single city and they're seeing what those benefits are, like you mentioned with the taxes, right? Especially if you're like even a VA buyer, right? You can come out here and you get your tax exempt, right? As a VA buyer, so that's a benefit. You know, there's no state income tax. The weather is actually great. However, there's probably like 2 to 3 weeks out of the year where it's like super hot where I'm like, what the hell? But other than that, I mean, I feel like this is the new metropolitan area where it's still young and there's time where you can actually come in and, you know, establish yourself, and eventually it will overgrow itself and it just becomes another populated area. But then the home pricing will be so high. But I just feel like it's still young enough where you can get in, basically, I'm saying. True.
And especially it's still affordable relative to the rest of the country, right? Our prices are still accessible.
Yeah. Now, I do have like clients, a majority of my clients, believe it or not, are from Hawaii or California or from the East Coast. And when they look at the pricing here, they're like, dude, this is cheap. For me, I'm like, dude, this shit is expensive. I remember when I could have bought this for like, you know, $120,000. But I mean, and I say this from time to time, right? Again and again. They end up selling their home for like 1.2, 1.3, whatever it is. They're making a profit, or especially guys from like Hawaii, they inherit a piece of land, piece of dirt, whatever it is, right? A house. And that piece of dirt is like 1.5. They end up selling it. They come out here and they buy home cash for 800, and they look at the cost of like goods. And it's, even though that we have high inflation, believe it or not, it's still cheaper to live here, which is kind of fascinating. But again, you get used to the pricing and you start to realize, oh, wait, I feel like pricing has gone up. But dude, you go to Hawaii, man, I think a gallon of milk right now, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong for all the people that are watching, you know, from Hawaii. I think it's like $12 or maybe even $15 a gallon. I don't drink milk, but this is what I was being told.
It's ridiculous. And the property taxes alone, were laughable compared to some of these states, 1% or less.
Yeah.
Right. And some of these, we have some buyers relocating from Texas. They're paying 2.5% on their property taxes.
Now, the feds did come out today. I didn't watch it, but I will watch it later on tonight. But obviously, it's all over social media. Jerome Powell dropped it 50 basis points. Now, keep in mind, guys, okay, when they drop rates, it doesn't have to do with the housing interest rates, right? It has nothing to do with that. But it's correlated, which means it affects the market and then also affects the interest rates with the mortgage industry. My question to you is, how do you think this is going to impact the market, and how much will it impact the market for the new buyers that are coming out that all these guys have been waiting for at this time? Because when I talk to agents, they're like, oh, as soon as they drop rates, this thing is just going to blow up. Is that the case for you?
Well, every 1% that the interest rates come down, we were told well over 1 million people qualified to buy homes. So that is going to bring a lot, thousands and thousands of buyers into our market. And we already have low inventory, as you know, right? We're sitting just under 3,000. That's about a month's worth of inventory. So more buyers are coming in. Sellers are still not willing to give up their 2.5%, 3% interest rates. So that's going to put a little bit of a tightness on that, right? That inventory is still going to be a little locked, if you will.
Now, I want to talk about, like, you know, working with buyers, going out and working with buyers right now, kind of give me a perspective from an agent standpoint of view of writing up offers, right? Especially with this new guidelines where now your buyer has to sign a buyer brokers agreement and they have to pay you a commission, and that's all negotiated up front. However, you can negotiate that into the purchase agreement. How is that affecting your market right now?
It hasn't, because what I boil it down to is you have to communicate with the other agent. right?
Yeah.
If you're the listing agent and I'm the buyer's agent, I'm forced to have that conversation with you, which I think it should have been a must regardless.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the commercial market where you're forced to call the other agent,
Yeah.
speak with them, get some intel, build rapport, and then see how you can make the deal happen. So me personally, we haven't lost any deals at our team at all because of it.
Now, from a buyer's perspective, right, has that affected the negotiations with that buyer's agent? I mean, with that buyer, are they losing incentives? Are they able to get incentives?
They're still able to get incentives because I tell them that if it affects them, of course, we'll notify them.
Yeah.
But if we can bake in or blend in that our incentives and the commission concessions into their concessions and just send it over to the other party, it's going to boil down to if the numbers make sense for them, right?
Now, as far as like closing costs, how much of closing costs are you asking for, and how much are you normally getting in today's market?
Depends on the price, but the most we've gotten well, actually the most we offer is we represent a new home builder. We offer $25,000 incentive, whether they want to take that 25 grand and just buy down a permanent interest rate, or they want to do a 3-2-1, we can get them into 2.99% interest rate. So it all depends. But I've negotiated up to $15,000 on a $400,000 house for the buyer to make it that much more affordable, right? I said $15,000 won't help you out that much. You're going to save $70-$80 on the payment. But if you apply that, you buy down your interest rate, now you're talking $400 or $500.
Okay, so if I was able to get, $15,000, should I be applying that towards my closing cost or to do a buy down? What's a better route to go?
In my opinion, buy down all day long, right? Because that way you're securing, making your payment that much more comfortable. Now, the other perspective to it is, and I'd like your thoughts on this as well, is interest rates are coming down, right? The Feds have said it's going to continue to come down this year and next year. If you can afford that high payment, maybe just cover all your closing costs, and then what happens? 12 months, you refinance.
Yeah. Well, for me, I just kind of look at the numbers and kind of run the scenario, and depending on the marketplace, like if my client doesn't have that much money for closing costs, obviously we're going to absorb that, right? But if they can afford that payment and they are comfortable with that payment and they believe that interest rates will drop and they're going to do a refinance, then I would say that strategy actually works. Now, the other thing I take a look at is if they have the money to come up front with it, but they are going to stay in that property for a certain period of time, then I'm going to say, let's run the numbers and let's see if it actually makes sense. Because sometimes you can get a pretty good interest rate, especially with like a new home builds, like at 4.9%, whatever it is in today's market. And at that point, you might as well just absorb that towards closing costs, because if you're okay with that payment, then you're completely fine. And if interest rates do drop a little bit lower, then at that point, if you want to refinance, then I would do the refinance. But again, for me, it's a case-by-case basis. That's why I always kind of run the numbers and run the scenario and give them the two options on the scenario based upon their situation as far as like time frame and stuff like that.
That's a good point. So you presented it, if they're going to stay in the house for a certain amount of time, then it would make sense, right? Okay.
Now, when I do break it down, I also show them, hey, you're going to have to stay in this home for a certain period of time. Here's the length of the time if you did do that buy down versus just sticking to where you're at right now, just paying your own closing costs. But again, like I said, it's a case-by-case basis.
Las Vegas is a very transient city, so that's a great question. Some people are here for a year, some people are here for the long term.
Now, is it a good time to buy a investment property right now? What's your thoughts on that? If a buyer comes to you and say, hey, man, I want to buy an investment property.
Absolutely. I just, one of the investors that I'm speaking with, when I say, hey, you must buy as soon as possible, right? Said, yep, we're going to definitely close on something by the end of the year. Can I ask why? And they said, we were told never to time the market. Right?
Yeah.
Just buy. The best day to buy was yesterday. So never time the market. There will always be a need for rentals. And right now there's not a lot of rentals. We have low inventory for sale. We have low inventory for rentals. So investors are gobbling them up, especially ones that can have cash or can finance most of it. Those guys are definitely in control.
Yeah, I think the rental market right now is just blowing up because there was an article that I read. An investor bought some multifamily units, and I think the acquisition was like $150 million, right? I mean, that is just crazy. if that kind of money is willing to come into this marketplace and buy these apartment complexes like that, that means they must know something, right? Obviously, I'm not the smartest guy, but when you're dealing with this type of acquisition, you have the right people in place. You have analysts, you have all these people that are working on your behalf for a large project for something like this. So that just tells you that the rental market is strong. That also tells you that we still have room for growth. There's so much people that are coming in. We just don't have enough housing for everybody.
That's correct. And Las Vegas is one of the top 5 cities in the country to move to.
Yeah.
Right? Everything from the businesses that are here, the tax-friendly structure, the fact that the weather, everything is just a big combination of Las Vegas is the place to be.
Yeah.
No other city has about $20 billion worth of infrastructure going on.
And you know what sucks is like guys like me, I can't even buy a house no more. It's just like I'm priced out of the market, right? And I guess the question I have for you is like, what's your thoughts about like affordable housing? Because I feel like there's not that much affordable housing out here.
Well, one of the items that could alleviate that is BLM, because we do have a lot of land. So if they do authorize certain builders to work and take care of those, and you put in some contractors on top of those jobs, you can make those a little more affordable.
Yeah, but don't you think that some of these Fortune 500 companies, these top builders, because believe it or not, there's only about 3 builders across the country right now is covering about 40% of market share. It's becoming a monopoly. And what I realize what they do is they only release certain lots at a time, and they're forcing the price to go up. So I feel like if, the federal government did sell the land, there should be some sort of stipulation or clause in here. Hey, we will sell it to you at this price, but you are required to sell it to first-time home buyers, and you have to sell it at this price based upon the average household income here in the state of Nevada.
That would be a great way to alleviate it. And you also have to be careful with who the contractors are going to be, right? Who the listing company is going to be. And if that builder is going to be the one that's selling it, building it and selling it to the consumer as well. But I agree with you. I mean, everything has been indicating everything is trending up. It is starting to get a little uncomfortable for some first-time buyers to get into the market.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be before, right? Now you're talking entry level. We're at $452 now, roughly on our average price here in Las Vegas. That is much higher than when you and I started in this business.
And it's just like, believe it or not, at $70,000, $80,000 a year with the average household income, I mean, $450,000 home. I mean, just a monthly payment on that is just unbelievable, especially, when you have carrying cost, right? As far as like, you got food, right? You probably got 2 car payments. Insurance is like super high now. Obviously property taxes will go up, electricity will go up, all these things where people don't account for. And I think this is very important, especially as agents. A lot of buyers are just so focused on the house, but really not focused on where they are comfortable as far as monthly payment. But there's actually more to it than that, right? It's, can you not only afford the house, but did you know the house, there's actually a lot of maintenance, right, that comes with a home. And when you start to have deferred maintenance, right, then it becomes a bigger issue because of the cost is just so much high and it goes out of control, right? And not only that, you have to think about looking at your whole budget because, again, you got food, you got gas you got to pay for, right? There's so many other costs that comes with a home. Sometimes. And kids are very expensive. Luckily, I don't have any kids, but I do have nieces and nephews, and I know how that works. And that's why I've never decided to have kids, because I'm a big kid myself. But again, I'm going to express this to everybody out there. It's just not only your mortgage payment. Take a look at your whole financial situation. I think that is very important. Now, when it comes to like purchasing a home, what's your thoughts on how much should they spend, a percentage-wise of their income on purchasing, or actually to have a monthly payment? Do you feel like it should be like 30%, 40% of your income?
I feel it should be right around that 33%. I think that's a sweet spot. That's a sweet spot for me and my wife, where when we make our decisions, we want to be at that 33% range. Some programs, as you know, will go up to 45, 49%.
Which is crazy to me.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think that's way too high, man. That just puts you in, like you mentioned, if you have AC go out, you have a roof leak, you have a major ticket item that you need to cover, that's going to destroy you potentially.
Yeah. Now, talking about like the AC and stuff like that, when you're walking through a home with your buyer, right, as an agent, are you taking a look at these kind of things as far as deferred maintenance before you put an offer on a home. And I think this is important. I want to bring this to your attention is because the last thing I want to do is put a deal together knowing that the home has like so much work. And I already know financially, you know, you get a client into the deal, you know, 6-7 months down the road, there could be some issues to the home. They may not have enough money to cover that. Do you like walk them through that whole process, or if that's what they want, you're just like, hey, as long as you're aware of it, that's it?
No, my team and I do. We take a look at some of those items, like even taking a quick glance at the AC, right? The roof, the structure of it, if it has a pool, any leaks, anything that's visible, that could be a high-ticket item. If the house has been sitting vacant, it could be a red flag too, depending on how many days it's been on the market. But I've seen the most visible ones are roof leaks. Found something that you see in the wall, whether it's a crack, not just a settlement crack, but something major, and of course the AC. If it looks like one of those old beat up, small little tiny ones that's hurting, in Vegas now they're expensive, right? Before 3-4 years ago, we were getting quoted $5,000 for a new unit. One of my clients just got quoted $9,000 for a new unit.
Wow, those things are very expensive.
They got crazy expensive and very quick.
So what do you do if the client's like, I really want that property, like I don't care, like, you know, I know the AC unit's like 15 years old, but, you know, home inspection says it still works.
Then home warranties are non-negotiable in that case. You have to put it in there, whether it's paid for by the buyer, the seller, who cares? You got to blend that in there because that's the only way they will protect themselves, especially from this heat. Yeah,
talking about home warranty, how does that work?
So home warranties, they protect certain appliances. Of course, you have all sorts of different plans. Yeah. And depending on that particular plan, they'll cover X amount of appliances. We've worked with several of them, but there's one in particular that we prefer that has allows you to select your own vendors, which is nice, right? Okay. I personally had an issue, my family and I, last summer. It was one of those 110, 120 degree days, and our AC went out. So, of course, we called that company and said, oh, you know, we can't get out there until like 24, 48 hours. Yeah. I had a 1-year-old at the time. He's 2 now. I said, that's not acceptable. So we ended up going to a hotel for the night, right? And then that wasn't even covered. Where the next home warranty we selected, my wife and I had the conversation. Hey, what happens in the event of this? Do you guys cover the hotel? Yes, we cover up to $200 a night. Fantastic. What's your response rate? Oh, you guys get to pick the the vendor, and then we just take care of those guys. That alleviates the problem of having a vendor that you're not in agreement with, or just a vendor that's just out there to get a paycheck, right? Put a little bit of lipstick on it and call it good. Yeah. That's not acceptable.
Now, some buyers, get confused between home insurance and a home warranty. There are two different things, Can you explain the two different things for all the viewers?
So the appliances, the home warranty covers most of the appliances and certain portions of the property, where the home insurance could be the flooding, it could be the roof falling down. I mean, it protects it. They make sure that your house is livable, right? If something drastic happens to it, even an earthquake, that's where the home insurance would come in. The home warranty would be more on the AC side, your refrigerator, right? Dishwasher, those kinds of appliances that they'll come in and take care of.
And how much does a home warranty normally cost? Like, because there's all different, pricing. So what's like an average price?
I've seen the lower end ones for $500 for the year, and the higher end ones $900 a year.
Okay, so these are just annually then?
Correct. Okay. And you can different payment methods as well.
So obviously you got to take a look at the policy and see exactly what they cover, and how soon does it actually kick in?
The home warranty is quick. As soon as you paid, next day you get the invoice, you're good. You're covered for that one full year. Where going back to the insurance side, real quick, you have to, if you have a mortgage, you have to have home insurance, right? If you don't, you pay it out cash, then it's on you. But if something happens, then it's up to the homeowner to take care of it. But home warranties, as soon as you pay that invoice or title pays that invoice, then you're rolling. You have that 365 days for your home warranty.
Now, I do want to disclose, if you are pretty much mechanically inclined, you probably don't need a home warranty, because then you're spending that additional $600-$700, whatever it is the policy is. So for me, I prefer not to have a home warranty, and the reason why is because I'm pretty good at fixing shit, right? However, I'm not going to fix it, but let me give you an example. Like if I paid $600, and this has happened to me, if I paid $600 for a home warranty, a few years ago, my hot water heater went out. And obviously I knew it went out because it flooded, and I knew I needed another hot water heater, and it cost me $1,200 to replace it, right? But then I knew that when I bought the home in 2009, about 9 years later, then it broke. So if you take $1,200 divided by 9 years, right, that tells you what I'm paying every single year, right? Mm-hmm. However, if I was paying $600, right, for the next 9 years, 6 times 9 is what?
72.
There you go. 70, yeah, 7,200. So there you go. See, I actually had to use my fingers and shit. So that made sense for me, right? So that's something that I do want to express. You know, that's why it's important, like as an agent, we should be educating our clients. We should already know the type of AC unit, when it was actually installed, from the year it was installed, right? The type of refrigerant it uses, because if you did an R22, but you're towards the end of it and it breaks, and now you're forced to do 410A. Now what happens is now you're going to be sold on a brand new compressor, and now you may need a whole new air handler. And you just mentioned $9,000. Now we're talking about $15,000. And that is a pretty big ticket item. So again, this is all case by case basis from experience. Now, I was just yapping up. You got any questions for me? I don't even know what to talk about now.
Oh, that was it. One other thing I was going to mention. Well, you're a real estate investor, and one of the investors I work with, he owns 14 doors. So at that point, he thinks just like you. He says, why will I go out and pay 600 times 14, where then I could just become my own home warranty? Right? Something breaks, I can use that bank, the money that he's saving, to pay for that ticket item no matter what it is.
Now, if you're a first-time home buyer, right, then I would say, yes, probably get a home warranty. Yeah. Because if you're not mechanically inclined, but you know that there's some wear and tear on the homes because the seller's not willing to fix all the items, but you know this AC unit or whatever it is, garbage disposal, probably only has about like 4 or 5 more years, then at that point you may want to consider it. Also, another thing is that you want to consider is it doesn't mean that you have to get a home warranty right away, right? When you're buying a home. You can actually purchase a home warranty anytime. Now, there are some home warranties out there may not cover the house, right? Depending on the condition. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to get a home warranty, from my experience, it's always best to get a home warranty when you're going through the process of the transaction, because you already have the home inspection report. If you close out of the deal, right, 3 years later, you say, I want a home warranty, they're going to say, that's fine, but we're probably going to need an inspection on your home, because they don't know what's wrong with your home. And I think people need to be aware of that. So that could be an extra expense, right? Unless you already have a history with that company.
So a way to alleviate that is buy new.
There you go. Do you sell mostly new homes or more
we do.
resale?
My team and I represent a local Las Vegas builder. We're downtown Summerlin. So one year bumper to bumper, we say, and then 10 years structural. So that alleviates everything. Hey, you're walking into a brand new AC unit, brand new water heater, right? You're not going to worry about it. One thing I tell them is peace of mind, right? For 1 year, you're going to sleep very comfortably knowing that if God forbid anything happens, guess what? You're covered.
So, Alex, you just mentioned that you and your team represent a builder. What do you mind me asking what builder you represent?
Absolutely. It's Edward Homes, and it's the community is called Thrive, and it's right on 215 in Charleston.
215 in Charleston, Thrive. I've heard of that name, but I'm trying to think exactly. 215, that's in Summerlin. Where?
That's in Summerlin. You know where Red Rock is? It's on the other side of the freeway, right on Plaza Center in Charleston. There's a big vacant lot right there, and then we are right next to it in the Allerton.
Is this a new development? Or
it's a brand new development. 43 brand new townhomes.
Oh, how much are the townhomes going for?
Anywhere $529,000 to $610,000.
That's kind of pricey for a townhome, don't you think?
But in downtown Summerlin, and all brand new and luxurious too.
Oh, you know what? I know exactly where that's at now.
The 3-story, grayish ones with a gate.
That is nice.
How big walking distance? Those are anywhere from 1,459 to 1,853 square feet.
That's actually not. Is it more like loft style, or is it like?
It's a townhome, but it has the 3 stories, and 2 of the models have the kitchen on the second floor in the living area. So very San Francisco-ish.
And they also do have balconies, I believe, right?
Up to 4 balconies.
4 balconies. Mm-hmm. How much are the HOAs over there?
$262.
$262.
Gate, pool, park, playground, not bad. And Summerlin, because you want to live in Summerlin, you got to pay Summerlin.
Yeah. So the fixtures and the interior, is it more modern style?
Very modern, very luxurious, soft close cabinets, higher end everything, stainless steel appliances, quartz, waterfall, islands. I mean, luxury laminate, vinyl plank. I mean, it's the works. It really is nice.
And what kind of incentives is the builder giving right now?
$25,000 incentive. They can use whatever they want. You can buy down the interest rate. You can buy down, do the 3-2-1 or permanent. You can also use it to buy, purchase your appliances, blinds, and we've even negotiated HOA dues. We even, one cash buyer, we said, hey, we're still going to offer it to you. We're going to honor it. So we'll prepay your taxes. Yeah. We're going to prepay your HOA dues for 2 years and throw in the appliances.
So you said you have what, 53 or 43 units?
There was a total of 43 that were built.
Okay.
Our team got 19 of them, and we've sold 6 of them.
Okay, so you guys are winding down then. You guys are getting rid of them all.
We have the last 13 available.
So what was the original base price?
The original prices were in the 400s, high 400s.
Oh, wow.
But this is 3 years ago that the project got started.
So what's a base price right now?
$529.
$529. So what's the percentage of the base price the average consumer is spending on upgrades?
Typically, depending on the builder, of course, but they say about 20%. However, these are all built out. These are done.
Okay, so it's just completely done.
So that is your base price is your price.
Okay, good, good.
And with that $25,000 incentive, I mean, you're talking you can get into 2.5 to 2.99 interest rate your first year, and then go to 3.99, 4.99.
And that's right over there by that ballpark too, right?
Exactly. You can walk there. Some of the residents do tell us when the weather's nice, they'll walk right to the ballpark.
And,
or downtown Summerlin.
Yeah, downtown Summerlin. There's a lot going on down there as far as like, food and stuff like that. It's nice when it's nice to walk around when the weather's great.
It's their version of Town Square, right? For us Henderson guys.
Yeah, I think I like Town Square better.
I'm with you, man. I'm a Henderson guy.
I don't like Summerlin. It's too bougie people.
And then you also have Red Rock, right? You have Red Rock Hotel Resort. You have Canyon Plaza, which is where that Costco, the Best Buy. I mean, anything you can think of is right there.
You know, it's so funny. You just mentioned Henderson. The people in Summerlin, they just have nothing but good things to say about Summerlin. And same thing with Henderson. And it's just like, there's so much like conflicting information when a consumer calls and they're like, where should I go? Should I go to Henderson or Summerlin? Like, what's the difference between Henderson and Summerlin?
One of the things that I boil it down to, my brother's in law enforcement and my wife is a news anchor. Yeah. So I always get the inside information on what's going on, news, updates. And one thing I always bring up, and then I let them make their decision, right? I say, hey, our claim to fame in Henderson is that we're one of the, per Forbes, one of the 5 safest large cities in the country. Take that as you will, right? And then do your own research. And most buyers I've found still prefer Henderson. Henderson is not a master plan, right? Has a bunch of master plans. And then we just say Summerlin is its own huge master plan. Yeah. Nothing wrong with it, but choose however you want.
It's completely 2 different vibes. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Obviously, we're shooting this podcast right now in Henderson, and I hate fucking Henderson, right? However, I don't know what it is now, but my next home, I'm buying in Henderson in McDonough Highlands.
There you go. Across the street.
Across the street, that's right. There was just something about it. I'm just like, you know what? I like this better than Summerlin for some reason. And Summerlin does have some good things, but maybe it's just when I moved out here, I've always lived here on the south side versus the west side. And I think that's important. Like, as a consumer, when you come out here, you really got to kind of look all over the valley versus just say, hey, I'm only going to look in Summerlin or only look in Henderson. Because I have clients where, they'll call me, hey, I just want to be in Summerlin. But when they look at the price, it's like sticker shock. And they realize like, wow, man, $800,000 doesn't really buy you anything. It's like a cubby hole. But then you go out to the southwest or you go to the northwest, you start to realize like, wait, my money is stretching a lot further with the house. You buy more house, believe it or not.
What would you say? You take that house in Summerlin, you pick it up, you drop it somewhere else. It's, what, 150 less, depending on the property?
That's a good point because I do a lot of KB homes, right? And this is funny. I shot this video probably like 2 years ago. and it was a 2469 model in the Southwest. Back then, it was like $350,000. Okay, exact same model was in Summerlin for like $125,000 more. Exact same model, exact same style, but again, you're just paying for the dirt. And I understand, right? If you want that vibe, by all means, move out to Summerlin. And I have friends and family that do, live in Summerlin, and they got some beautiful homes, and I do like it out there, but I would rather be here, honestly.
You get used to it. I mean, I've been in Vegas 33 years, man, and I honestly tell that into my buyer presentation. I've lived everywhere, man. I grew up here in my 20s, so I did the whole roommate thing. We did east side, north side, west side. I went to Centennial High School, south side, southwest, and Henderson. So I said I can truly tell you about any community because I've lived there.
Okay.
And I at the end of the day, I prefer Henderson, man. I'm with you.
I'm going to go with some of these questions because there's actually a lot of questions. So, guys, I really do appreciate all these questions. Summerlin, the new community, which is called the Peaks, is the new village, right? But then we have the neighborhood accession, right? What is your thoughts about it? And somebody asked, is it actually worth it to buy there?
To buy in there or in Summerlin?
No, in accession.
In accession. Well, people are they're selling quickly. The last time I spoke with an on-site sales agent, they are selling quickly. Your advantage is that you are close to the Ridges and the Summit, two of the most luxurious communities there are, and Sienna, right? You're across the street from Sienna community as well. So you're in a high demand area, and it all indicates that Hollywood 2.0 will be right across from RC Willie, right? Yeah. That's what you've heard as well. Check it. So to answer your question, I believe that is a high ticket area, easy freeway access, beautiful views. You're elevated, and you're next to some of the biggest millionaires in Las Vegas.
However, you have Toll Brothers and you have Pulte Homes, which is Toll Brothers is one of the biggest builders across the country. Structurally, they built a very good product. However, it's a very expensive home. Okay, the only thing is, it's a track home, and you're paying top dollar. So the question is, I was just out there, probably like 3 days ago. Would you pay $3 million for a track home?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Being point blank, huh?
But from the years that I've been doing this, I've noticed that, especially with Toll Brothers, especially up in Summerlin, if you can buy at the right time, right, at the early stages, and don't spend too much on the upgrades, right, other than the structural and, electrical, high and low voltage, those are the most important things, and then let the whole community finish out, by the time you're done, you're going to realize how much of an equity position you are in. And I see this from time to time again. I've probably had like 4 or 5 clients already where we've done this strategy, but they had to wait it out. We go in and we remodel. Matter of fact, we're doing that right now for a home with Toll Brothers, right? We just went stock and standard other than structural, electrical, high and low voltage. And we're putting probably about $750,000 into it. But clients are going to be making about almost $800,000 off this deal because we bought right, and he's playing the game, and he's trusting the process. But they literally just started the demo, so I can't wait to see when this product is done. It's going to be crazy.
I can personally agree with you, and I ended up buying my very first home was a KB home in the Southwest.
Okay.
And I bought the cheapest, bought in one of the first guys to buy in there, and very little upgrades. And the upside on that, you're absolutely right? Because then they roll out the price increases, the constant price increases. And then when the community is completely sold out, I'm sure you would agree, prices go up right away.
Looks like some guys on this feed are actually arguing about this interest rate. So somebody's saying, hey, buddy, you're actually wrong. It looks like when rates are locked in at 3.5% to 4.5% interest rates, everybody will actually be selling, because they don't want to lose out on their home, because people are trying to sell right now. I guess this doesn't make sense. These guys are fighting. I would have to disregard this. I'm just trying to read all this. These guys are arguing back and forth. This is crazy. All right, we're going to just skip this nonsense. Oh, somebody says, everything is awesome. I don't know what that's about. Maybe the podcast. Somebody says we're all broke, blah, blah, blah. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put your comments here. But ask a good question. SUMMERLIN is a way of life. It's expensive. Well, we understand how expensive it is. Let's see here. Oh, some people are all arguing with each other. Christopher Holmes, what's your thoughts about the Christopher Holmes in McDonald Highlands?
Those are beautiful. Those views up there are spectacular, right? Those model homes, they did a great job being all the way up on the mountain.
Mm-hmm. You know, I haven't toured that yet, which is I do need to set up an appointment. And that ridge line that they are actually on, dude, it's like every home on that street has the most craziest views. Now, I've did some IG stuff up there, but I'm telling you, the views are like totally unobstructed. Like you literally see everything. And I don't even know how they even picked up that dirt, but good for them. But what's crazy is some of their stuff is selling for like $5 million, which is, I'm like, $5 million for this. This is kind of crazy, but I don't know where all this money's coming from. People are still coming out here. They're spending that kind of money, but you guys ain't spending it with me. So make sure to give me a call because I got things to pay for. You know what I'm talking about? Just a little generic plug. But hey, man, it's getting a little bit hot in here, and we're running into about 45 minutes, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. Alex, I do want to say thank you for coming on the show and, you know, giving us your thoughts about the real estate market. But before I let you go, if somebody is actually interested in purchasing a home with you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
My cell phone number or DM. My cell phone number is 702-885-6605. And my Instagram is at Alex Vazquez Vegas.
Okay. So if somebody is interested in the Thrive, do they just contact you directly or do they head down to the sales office or how does that work?
We have a sales center there, but I'm the sales director. So feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm here to make a deal.
And Instagram, anything like that?
Instagram is at Alex Vazquez Vegas.
Okay.
V-A-Z. Q-U-E-Z. Vegas.
And you are giving out $20,000 incentives or
25, my brother.
25.
And if you mention that you saw it on this podcast, we'll bump it up.
Oh, just like that?
Let's do it. I'm here to make a deal, man.
You know what? That is so cool of you guys.
I'll do 27 right now on the spot. I'm calling it out.
27. Make it 30 and they'll call you.
That's what it takes. You call me. You mention you saw it on this podcast with my brother and we'll make it happen.
Oh, dude. You know what? I really do appreciate you. I really, really do. And, you know what? Maybe we should probably do some sort of collaboration on Thrive and kind of tour and see what that is all about. And we can show our viewers, right?
100%.
What's going on. I think that'd be a good collaboration, don't you think?
Absolutely. And since you mentioned that, we do have the 3 different models that we have.
Yeah.
Fully staged, man. So they're
fully staged.
Yeah. Ready to go. Staged. Beautiful.
You know what? I'll definitely have to get with you again. Alex, I do appreciate again. And we will be in touch. All right, guys, that is pretty much it for this podcast. If you guys like more content like this, let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Other than that, until next time, peace.
Is your credit score holding you back from purchasing a home? GC Credit Coaches is a repair company that's made easy. Their goal is to challenge and remove all negative errors that hurt your credit score. On average, GC clients see about 10.2 negative items removed over 4 months. Start improving your credit score today with a simple 2-minute online enrollment for a free consultation and a complete credit audit. GC Credit Coaches offers competitive monthly pricing, no contracts, no hidden fees, and the service stops once you are satisfied. GC Credit Coaches removes inquiries, collections, charge-off bankruptcies, and repossessions. Don't forget to visit GC Credit Coaches